Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Offhand Tales podcast. My name's Jordan.
I'm Terry.
And I am David.
So today's gonna be a little bit different. I wanted to kind of pause the story today, and I wanted to talk about Black Panther. But first off, we're gonna talk about what we think of Marvel in general up to this point, or at least the MCU. We're gonna talk spoiler free for the first, 2 to 5 minutes, and just give our general opinion of the film. And then we'll go into spoilers, and we'll let the audience know. So if you haven't seen it, then you're not spoiled, obviously. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into what we think of Marvel up to this point, in general. You first, Terry.
Good. Go for the guy with food in his mouth.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. Well, my overall view of the Marvel movies is I really try to look at them one movie at a time. I don't look at it all as a whole, but it's nice to have those movies to look back on before you go into the next movie, because there's going to be references, which there are some references in Black Panther, so we'll get into that. But as a whole, they seem to have a hit and miss at times. Like you get...
What's their misses?
Well, you get like Iron Man's good, and then Iron Man 2 is so-so. And you get Incredible Hulk, which is pretty decent. I think it's kind of
I just don't even count
underrated.
that, though. I just don't even count that, though.
It's part of it.
I know it is. I just don't really...
It's
I
just
don't-
the
I
actor
don't
changed.
think about it.
Well, it's the problem. Too many people just kind of disregard it, but it is a part of everything.
Yeah, it's a second MCU film.
Yeah. It did bring in the whole idea of the super soldier serum for people who didn't know about Captain America. A lot of people call Thor: The Dark World a miss, but I really like that one.
I like it, too.
That's the only one I've only watched once. I don't remember. And I remember the ending.
I think that because Iron Man 3 came out, and what's odd about that is I know a lot of people that have seen it, but I think it's their highest grossing movie.
Thor?
No, Iron Man 3.
That's one of my personal favorites. I love the whole movie. Don't like the ending.
Black Panther will be the highest grossing when it's all said and done. Like that's 100%.
Is that your prediction?
No, it's my prediction, but it's going to be.
Iron Man 3 is one of the highest grossing movies ever.
Black Panther beat every opening.
Well,
for Marvel
that's just
yet.
openings, but I'm talking about overall.
It's gonna have. Trust me, we'll talk about what we think about the movie, but I do think it's gonna be the highest grossing Marvel film.
Yeah. Well, Iron Man 3, I do like it because I'm a big Shane Black fan. Like even his bad movies, I really like the movies he's written. Long Kiss Goodnight. I love Long Kiss Goodnight. A friend of mine, when Long Kiss Goodnight came out, he was like, "Oh, that's just like if they made Elektra as a movie." So, but I'd say the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was a little underwhelming for me.
Fuck you.
I did. No, I like it, but it's a little underwhelming for me. It seemed a little, for a movie that to come after another movie that was so it just expanded everywhere. It was really confined. It almost all happened. If you look at it as like a house, then the whole movie happened in the living room when the first movie would have happened in every room of the house.
Yeah, I do see what you're saying. I totally agree, but I love it for that.
I
love the small. I love how small it was in nature, because it was more of a personal film for Peter Quill, going and seeing his father, finding his father Ego. I mean, it was very personal for him. So I love that it was a very confined and subtle story instead of like this huge, big, grand thing, which it did have the big, grand pieces.
Mm-hmm.
and larger implications for the MCU, but I enjoyed that it was so confined.
Well, that's the other problem. It's the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not a Star-Lord movie, and
But it was all part of all the Guardians did have their.
but it didn't, because it was all about Peter and his daddy issues. You know,
But
with Yondu
that
and-
did affect the Guardians as well, though.
Yeah, but they didn't have they each had, they were so fleshed out in the first one that the second one they became secondary. That's the thing that I noticed right away in the movie.
I feel like
And-
Rocket did.
Well, no, he because everybody likes the foul mouth raccoon,
Mhm.
so they're gonna like. But even though they had their little moments, Gamora and Drax were just like, oh, it's the green people.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um,
I love all of the Captain America movies, but my order of them would definitely be the first Avenger. Well, it would be Winter Soldier, first Avenger, then Civil War, because technically Civil War is like Avengers like 2.5.
yeah, I don't count it as a Captain America film.
That and they tried to put so much in that movie and then still try to make it a Captain America movie that it became an Avengers movie more than a Captain America movie.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's not really a Captain America movie.
All right. So what do you think about the MCU, David, so far up to this point?
I mean, I'm pretty much just like the normal fan to a point. I mean, I read the comics. I enjoy the comics. I enjoy all that. I enjoy all the movies. I have little bits and pieces that I agree with. I don't agree with. Winter Soldier, though, I will. That movie's just fantastic.
It's a perfect film.
It really, for superhero, it is fantastic. I personally like Iron Man 3 except for the ending. If I could redo the ending or not have the ending, it would be probably my number one still.
What part of the ending?
The whole, Gwen, is that her? I don't know.
Pepper.
Yeah, Pepper. I was
Her
thinking
real
the
name is
actor.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah. When she came back as a super-powered badass just to save Iron Man,
Yeah, that was retarded.
I just didn't like that personally. I like the whole Iron Man trying to overcome his personal issues. The whole event of them and Iron Man dealing with the events of the Avengers. I like that. But overall, I enjoy Marvel movies. I will always nitpick, but they're enjoyable. They're not like, oh god, that was absolutely terrible. And that's my little opinion on it.
Well, the sorry, the thing with Pepper and all that is because and Tony learns nothing through any of the movies. He learns absolutely nothing. He's the same in the last movie he was in as he was in the first movie. But the thing is they keep putting this stuff in there where, Tony's trying to be like the one man to do all this stuff, but he needs other people. It's just a constant, he's a character that remains the same because everybody's like, oh, I like that character like that. And if they change him, and I think it's a fear of changing him, if you change him, then maybe people won't like him so much. Maybe they won't be so excited that, hey, look, Tony's in Spider-Man, or hey, look, Tony's in, the end credits of the Incredible Hulk. It's a character that they need to grow, and then we can go into theories at the end of the podcast of what we think is going to happen. But how about you, Jordan?
Yeah. Okay. So I love the MCU. I love everything about it. I don't hate any of the movies. I like them all.
I don't hate any of them.
I'm a big MCU fan. I don't think there's any film I don't like in the MCU. I love the Marvel comics, obviously. My favorite MCU film is either probably Winter Soldier, like them, or Thor Ragnarok. I love Thor Ragnarok. I think Taika Waititi is a masterful director. What We Do in the Shadows is a perfect film, in my opinion. I love it so much.
Knocked it out of the park.
Knocked it out of the park. And I can't wait for Werewolves. That's going to be fucking hilarious. And he's also making a TV show. Did you know that?
No.
Based off of What We Do in the Shadows. There's a TV show
cool.
coming out for it, too.
He's also trying to remake Akira. which is a fantastic anime.
I don't think he's doing that anymore.
I hope he does.
Well, he's
Make
not.
it happen.
I don't really care about Akira at all. I don't like anime. I just wanted to piss off David. I don't really care. I think it'd be cool because Taika Waititi's just awesome. If he does anything, I'm interested in it. But yeah, MCU is always good to me. I'm always excited for the films. I'm ready for Phase 4. I'm ready to see what happens. I want Fantastic Four. God damn it!
Apparently, they don't like calling things phases now, even though they're the ones that started that.
What?
Yeah,
They stopped doing it?
they don't want to call it Phase 4 or anything.
Kevin
like that.
Feige. I trust you. I don't care. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, I love the MCU. I'm probably a fanboy over it, honestly. I hate DC. I think we talked about that before.
Yeah, you're goofy.
Yeah, I mean, DC's stupid. It's boring. Their characters suck.
Oh my God!
I'm not gonna get into it right now.
I am
We're about to get into Black Panther.
We're gonna get into
All right.
like some kind of weird brawl over this because
Okay.
you have no idea what you're talking
Let's
about.
give our general spoiler-free thoughts of Black Panther real quick, and I'll start.
Okay, you go ahead and start.
Okay, so it's an okay film. I don't see why people are saying it's revolutionary. I get that it's cultural relevance is important, I guess, but I don't really care about that. I care about a film, and if a film is good, then a film is good. I'm not going to worry about the cultural relevance. I don't think that should be involved in filmmaking. I don't think that should be how people look at films and review them. That's the only reason I think it has a 97%. I think it's a really good film. Well, I think it's a good film. I enjoyed it a lot. I really did. There's a lot of problems I have with it, which we'll get into more of the spoiler-free or spoiler cast. But I think the CGI was kind of wonky at times. I think the story had structural problems, which Terry says every MCU movie does, but it does not.
They do.
Thor didn't.
Yes, it did.
In Black Panther, I cannot feel when it was Act 1, Act 2, or Act 3. But I will say, I'm just being nitpicky a little bit, but I do love Ryan Coogler. I love Chadwick Boseman.
Have you seen Coogler's other movies?
I've seen all of his films, yeah.
Okay.
He's a great filmmaker.
For whatever reason, I haven't. It's his movies have been on my to-watch list.
Creed is really good. And I've never even seen any Rocky film.
I think that's why they set it up that way.
Yeah. All right, so go ahead and Terry and tell me your thoughts about your general thoughts about Black Panther, spoiler free.
Black Panther is the worst Marvel. No, I'm just kidding. I really enjoyed it. I do think that, and probably the big reason why it's getting such good reviews is because they're probably reviewing it against the other Marvel movies, and I think the fact that they have broken out of that like Marvel mold where basically all the origin movies, you could almost see how the template where they take out Tony Stark and then put Stephen Strange or Thor or Star-Lord or whatever, because it has that same almost beat for beat what's going on in the movie, and Black Panther doesn't do that because what's kind of odd about it is how like the secondary characters are actually more interesting than Black Panther.
They actually were, yeah.
It's really weird.
I liked, and I think Black Panther and Spider-Man Homecoming, they were very fresh, in my opinion, just because of their origin story. Their introduction was in Civil War. So we didn't have to go through the past, Spider-Man getting bit and Black Panther doing all this. I thought it was just like, if you understood it, and you watched, kind of the previous, you got the introduction, and now here's the movie.
Which I think is why they're introducing characters in other movies.
Dude, I've honestly forgot all about Spider-Man Homecoming. That is definitely one of my favorite MCU films because it did break the mold to us. Like, it did break the mold of how they're structured usually.
It still has the structure, but it's because Tony is
felt like Spider-Man though.
Tony is almost Obadiah in that movie.
You think so?
He's almost. It's like between him and Michael Keaton's character are almost like
Vulture.
Well, I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah, I'm blanking right now.
But like as much as I have loved Spider-Man my whole life, Spider-Man Homecoming is the only Spider-Man movie I've only seen once.
Really?
Yeah.
I could watch that film all
I
day.
saw Spider-Man 3 twice because I'm like, maybe I'm wrong, and this is actually a pretty decent movie. And then I watched it, and I was like, no, that was just as bad as it was in the theater.
But it felt most like a Spider-Man film that I've ever seen. It
had a
felt like
different
Spider-Man.
feeling. It had a different feeling for sure. So I'm not gonna argue with you on that one. But Dave, you want to give us a little more what you got?
I'm Black Panther.
Overall, I'll definitely share more of my opinion once we get into the spoilers. But the overall, I thought it's definitely like some of Marvel's best. Yeah, I'll say like I enjoyed it, but if we're going for a more culture reference and more of an impact, I would actually say Get Out is better as more of a culture with this culture than Black Panther, if that makes sense.
I think Get Out was stupid.
Yeah.
What?
I had a horrible experience at the theater. I wanted to kill everyone in the theater.
You wanted them to get out?
Look, David was sitting next to me, and I don't know if he looked at me ever during the theater or during the movie, but I was shaking the entire time.
What was happening?
I don't even want to talk about
Was
it
it
on
people
here.
talking during the movie? And
Not
all
just that. I don't even want to talk about it.
Do you know why? I don't know if I ever told you this, but I go to movies as early in the day as I possibly can.
Oh, yeah, we definitely do that now.
To avoid people.
The only reason why we decided to go to that one was because we didn't go to the early one and we weren't next to a theater.
We paid for extra seats.
And we paid for the reserved comfy seating. And it was only like at a specific time. But back to the whole Black Panther. I thought it was okay. I agree with Jordan that at some points I was like, where is like the whole act? Like it felt like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 kind of all blended together. Yeah. But again, that's just like a little thing. Overall,
especially
enjoyed
Act 3.
it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That's the end of that.
I just want to say Act 3. Act 3 felt weird. I didn't think the movie was about to end. I was so confused when I was like, is this the last battle? What? I was really confused. I think that's what really made me feel like, oh, this structure is kind of weird. I think that's the only reason. I think Act 2 was it felt like 2 acts. It felt like Act 1 and Act 2. It felt like all of Act 1 was up until Killmonger. Let's get into spoilers.
I have an idea of where the act breaks are.
Yeah.
So, but just knowing.
Hold on. So, okay, everyone, we're gonna go into spoilers now. So, if you haven't seen the film, well, here's your chance to leave, I guess. Cool. Anyways,
here's probably where you may be mad at somebody. Most likely not me, but
probably me. Okay, so spoilers now. So it felt like Act 1 was all up until Killmonger threw Black Panther over the waterfall, and then I felt like it went to Act 3, which I don't know. It felt weird to me.
Act 1 is where the end of Act 1 is where T'Challa beat. Oh damn it! What's his name? Yeah, I'm gonna do.
T'Challa beat Manape.
Yeah.
Yeah, Winston Duke. M'Baku.
Yeah.
But his comic book name is Manape.
Well, I think it's still M'Baku.
Yeah, but I'm saying like his character name in the comics was Manape, like that was his.
Okay, so I think that's where the first act ends. It's that or when they get Claw. And then Act 2.
I see that a little bit more, but even that just makes me hate the acts even more just because they didn't feel like acts.
The one thing I refuse to do is pay attention to the structure in a movie unless
I can't help it. I'm a writer.
I am too, but it's just if it's like in your face bad, like that's when I notice it.
But I think that's why film is so subjective because it was in my face bad for me in this film. But like it wasn't bad to the point where like, oh, I hate this movie. No, it just felt weird to me. Like I was confused. Like I said, I was confused when Act 3 happened. I was like, what? This is the end? It didn't feel.
Well, you got to more think of it as let's say, and then this is a horrible way to go about it, but let's say if it was a TV show, it was an episode of a TV show, and you watch it, where would the commercial come in? And I'd say that if it wasn't where he beat
It's you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, it's definitely after that scene, where they get Claw.
Yeah.
Yeah, Act
Because
1
it
ends
stops there, because that's where it would be. And then I think Act 3 is after T'Challa asks him for help. And then
Well,
he
I
says,
think Act 2 ends where Killmonger is now king.
no, it's definitely where T'Challa asks for help.
No,
Because then that takes us into the last third of the movie.
See, I just not like. I don't like that. If that's the way it is, I don't like that. I don't know. The beat points don't feel so aggravating.
Well, because you got to think of what goes on in those sections.
Yeah.
Because the first section is kind of introducing everything, and then the middle section is kind of everything falling apart, and then it's kind of like you got to think of it in a way of a reverse, because everything's great for him at the beginning of the second act, and then it goes down, and then it's down at the end of the second act, and then it goes up in the third. So you got to find that low point in the third, which I guarantee you, anybody listening to this right now is like, it is amazing that they're talking about act structure.
I can't help it.
Since Jordan kind of shared his mind, the reason why I put it above some of the other Marvel movies is because they killed off important characters that they should have done in Civil War. That's what irritated. That's why Civil War is not on my top.
It's my favorite character, though.
Because they killed off two important, strong characters that have,
Who's the second one?
Killmonger. They killed Claw.
Yeah, but they always kill the villains. I kind of hate that they did kill him, but it was such a cool way that they did it. Like, I was okay with it.
And that's what made Dark Knight so interesting. The biggest villain of the movie survives at the end. The actor didn't survive, but that's kind of what elevated that one a little bit. And then the whole idea behind spoilers for Dark Knight. The whole idea behind everything with Harvey was in defiance of what the Joker was trying to do.
You definitely don't need to do spoilers for Dark Knight.
You never know. You never know.
Which is not a great film, by the way.
It's an amazing movie.
But that's pretty much just my plain old opinion. When Jordan started talking about like the structure of it, I was like, oh, that makes sense. I understand that. But when I was watching it, I wasn't watching it for, I was just like, all right, Marvel, entertain me. I was entertained. They had they killed off people I wasn't expecting. And I was like, this is interesting. Better than Civil War.
Civil War is disappointing.
It's because it's so. That is a very off-balance movie because they were trying to do something with that I think they actually did in Black Panther way better than they did in Civil War, where you could see the point of view of both of the characters.
Oh, that's why I love the villain in Black Panther. But the villain in Civil War is actually my favorite villain in the MCU.
I do like him. The actor,
Zemo.
The actor Daniel Bruhl.
Yeah.
I think he's the villain in the next Mission Impossible. But he makes.
Hello.
He makes the whole thing work.
Yeah, Daniel Bruhl was. I was wanting more, but like.
Even though, the fact that everything he does in that movie, it succeeds, but everything he does in that movie is all based on luck.
Yep. Some of it was luck.
That makes for bad writing.
But some of it was luck. Some of it was actually like legit planning, which I like. I like a devious villain who maybe he's not the strongest person ever, but he has a plan and he succeeds because of that plan. Mm-hmm. Which yes, some of the things were luck. How did he know Iron Man would show? I don't know. I just really like it. I really like that villain. Don't make me think about it too much.
He had to bank on the fact of what people's reactions were going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what like I like the actor. I like what he did in the movie, but story-wise, all the motivations of what he had not his motivations. His motivations were, fairly sound, but everything that he had done was just. It was literally just like, if I do this, then this should happen. If I do this, then this should happen. And it didn't seem like there was a secondary plan.
Mm-hmm.
What if Steve Rogers would have just took Bucky out? What if Tony took Steve's side and went,
I think,
yeah, I get that he was brainwashed,
I think all of it would have been better if they would have found a better way to get Iron Man to that building at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole thing with him showing them that Bucky killed the parents, which was my favorite scene.
It was a good scene.
That was amazing. And if they could have got to a better way to get for Iron Man to get there, it would have been a lot better, I think.
I wish it was darker. The comic is darker. There were deaths. They would have killed, spoilers for Civil War, if they would have killed off War Machine. They should have. That was a perfect build-up. I was like, cool. Something more should have happened at the final climax with Bucky, Iron Man, and Captain America.
It kind of just felt like they were running around fighting.
Like after all that,
it was like
Bucky killed
sparring.
One
Iron Man.
at a time, guys.
Sorry.
Iron Man or Bucky killed Iron Man's parents, and after the little fight, he was just like, like he completely forgot about it.
I like how he said spoilers for Civil War after we just spoiled the entire thing before him.
Well, yeah. Let's stick with Black Panther a little more, but I know I'm the one that took us in that direction, but
fuck you, Terry.
But no, his motives were clear. You learn when the hero, learn, and but you could see his point of view, and there is a villain problem in the Marvel movies, because for the most part you don't get the villain's point of view, and you don't get Loki's until Avengers.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like Loki. I would have never put him as the best villain in the MCU. I feel like people just kind of bandwagon. That's the problem I have with a lot of people, like just in our day and age. If someone says they like someone, like that they like, or like they watch on YouTube or something, then they end up liking this, or they end up thinking this. Our culture wants to be told what to think, and it really pisses me off. Well, I guess I'm going off a little tangent, but I just remembered what I wanted to bring up in this. So I read there was an article that was just released that I read on Washington Post that said Black Panther brought diversity to the MCU, but still no gays. And I was like, come on, why does everything have to include something that is politically correct?
Well, how do they know that?
Yeah, how do they know? How do they know that Okoye is Okoye? Well, I guess we know Okoye is not gay because. How do we know the sister's not gay? We don't know this. It doesn't need to be thrown in our face that someone's gay or someone's black or someone's white. It doesn't matter. As long as it's for the character, then that's what matters. I don't want someone to be shoehorned in. Like, I get it. It's like the gay community probably does want a gay character, but don't shoehorn it in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want something to be diluted because Marvel or whatever is adhering to political correctness. I don't want that. I had a real big problem with that.
But they're going to.
Oh, I know they're going to. It's really going to piss me off.
Well, because
that's why sometimes in Black Panther, the political correctness hit me in the face so much. I was like, oh shit, okay, whatever.
Well, the big reason why there's never been a Black Widow movie, even after everybody's like there should be a Black Widow movie, and then years later, there's a Wonder Woman movie, and it does extremely well. And the whole point why they said. I think it was Ike Perlman who like really has hindered Marvel stuff for years.
Yep.
I think he's the one that said that there's never going to be a successful female-led superhero movie because you had Elektra, which didn't do well. You had Catwoman, which didn't do well, but they weren't very well fleshed out characters.
Yeah. Black Widow is, for one.
She's got a good backstory.
They're finally making a movie for her, which is gonna be exciting.
We'll see.
No,
they are. The only reason, and if they do, the only reason is because Wonder Woman did well.
Okay, now I want to go to Wonder Woman real quick. that movie does not deserve as much praise as it gets. That's why I have a problem with people grading a film because of the cultural relevance.
Well,
A film should be graded because it's a film.
what's flawed in it?
The entire third act,
What's wrong with the third act?
it's so typical, so boring and stupid. The first 2 acts are great. I love the first 2 acts.
But it has the same kind of act that even the Marvel movies have.
Not exactly.
Yeah, it does. They're fighting some big.
Does it deserve?
CG
Does Wonder Woman
whatever.
deserve Oscars?
Looks great.
Looks okay.
It's shot fantastically.
Looks okay. I've seen nothing.
And
I've seen
the
nothing different.
Everywhere they go has a new look, but it's still cohesive.
I don't know. I just
The
don't.
acting's good in it. Gal Gadot's not the greatest actress in the world.
She was
but
okay.
she
I was
does
proud
really
of her. I was
well
proud
in
of
it.
her. Yeah, I was proud of her.
Like her
Chris Pine was
reactions,
the greatest.
her reactions to everything, it's fantastic. Yeah, somebody that's never been in the situation she's been in and the way she sees it is just
Okay, but
It
I'm just
works.
saying, like, I don't know. I know it's not nominated for Best Picture, but it was being talked about being nominated for Best Picture.
well, people do that all the time.
And that
when
was like,
something's
what the
popular.
fuck are you talking about? Because this movie does not deserve nearly as much praise as it's getting. Neither does Black Panther. I like Black Panther a lot. For one, and by the way, he's not the first black superhero like that was on film. Blade came out 20 years ago, and that was awesome. Blade's awesome.
You may be forgetting about the tour de force of Shaquille O'Neal in Steel.
No, stop.
Yeah, let's stop that. What topic were we on, by the way?
Let me
Yeah, go ahead,
interject
David. You
here
haven't
real
talked in a
quick.
Dave's
while.
gonna reel things in.
Yeah, nah, kinda, I am, but I will say, since we're on the whole Wonder Woman thing, we have Alien, which came out in the 70s with a strong, badass woman, and everyone forgets about that. Now we were talking about, the Black Panther spoilers and more of our thoughts on that.
I just wanted to say Captain Marvel will be better than Wonder Woman.
We'll see.
Anyways.
It's gonna be a tough sell.
Oh, also, Black Panther, I'm curious what you guys think. Do you guys think that was a good lead up to Infinity War?
No.
It was an odd.
Yeah, right. I expected a lot more. We didn't get the Soul Gem. They could have put that in to where, because in the comics, the Soul Gem has like an inner world. I think it's called the Soul World. They go into that could have literally been what they did to see his ancestors. Literally could have been that, and it would have been awesome. But no, they failed to do that. Now, where's the Soul Gem at? Who has it? Why are they going to Wakanda in Infinity War? They didn't set up anything for Infinity War, which kind of pisses me off. Yes, it needs to be its own film, but when it's in the
That's
the MCU.
The great thing about Black Panther is it is a great standalone movie. You
Yes,
didn't
but
need
it's
to
2
see
months
anything.
before. It's like 2.5 months before Infinity War,
Okay,
and we
But-
still don't have a Soul Gem.
but maybe that's the whole MacGuffin of that movie.
Oh, it totally is, but where is it?
We'll find out.
God damn it! Infinity War's already gonna be fucking
All right,
crazy.
we'll talk about that a little later. Let's stick
I'm
with-
sorry. I'm just. There's so many things like just coming at me right now.
For a split second when I was watching the final little, after credits of Black Panther, for a moment I thought, and it would be kind of interesting if they did do this, was they were talking about the events after Infinity War, which would lead up to Infinity War. Like, they are very vague, but they mention something, and that's where Bucky ended up at the end of Infinity War, was back there with his arm completely gone. I thought that was what they were going for when I saw him, and I was just like, oh, last time I saw him, he had his arm, and he was in that tube, and now
He didn't have his.
No, he didn't have his arm.
He didn't have his
lost
arm.
He lost his arm in Infinity War.
He
Remember?
had only like the shoulder.
And he went in cryo. But that's the thing. We already saw a post-credit scene with him in Wakanda. Why did we need another one?
That's why I thought it was like after Infinity War, and they were going to mention something to bring Infinity War up. I was wrong.
They did call him White Tiger though, which was a cool reference because in the comics, T'Challa has a half brother or adopted brother named White Tiger, which is probably what's gonna happen is Bucky's gonna get with T'Challa's little sister, which is weird because she's a teenager. Maybe that's not gonna happen actually.
He's a very old man now.
He is.
Yeah. Well, let's let's kind of go over the different scenes. Let's just go from the beginning.
Okay, let's do that. So the beginning scene was awesome, dude. With the animation.
Okay.
That
Well,
was
I
awesome.
wasn't going to that, but if you want to go to that,
I do want to
that's
talk about
fine.
that a little bit. That was really cool. Did you see that Captain America's plane is in that when he goes down?
Oh no, I didn't. See
Yeah,
that.
it's in it, dude. It's fucking cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that entire thing is really cool. I was really enthralled by that.
There was so much in that.
There was so much. I want to go back and watch the film just for that, honestly, because that I would watch the entire film just like that. That was beautiful. You
Yeah.
know how much money that probably cost?
Well, they also used that in the movie itself. You know, where the convoy where he picks up that truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that stuff is. That same stuff from the story at the beginning.
Oh, really?
And then later on, they had it. That's what the when she was like in that driving that car, and then when Ross was in the plane,
Yeah.
and it was that same stuff.
Oh. I never picked that up.
Yeah,
Look at you, Terry.
I'm watching. I'm like, wait a minute.
I also love how I'm just gonna talk about this real quick because it kind of goes with this. At the end, me and David both love like the mid credit roll they had, which all the Marvel movies have now. But it was so beautiful. That's all I have to say about it. Anyways, all right, go back to the first scene. Whatever.
Well,
What about you, David?
I do like that the movie's taking place, and this is probably why there was no Infinity War anything, is because this movie is like right after Civil War.
Yeah, it is.
So it's probably like within hours of after.
Well, first off, we start in Oakland in 1992.
Yeah.
Which I actually enjoyed only because they brought it back later and revealed a couple of things to me, which was like, I was like, oh shit, that's really cool. I like how they did that.
And it has a lot of because of Coogler's. That's where he's from.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the Black Panthers are from. Did you notice
Yep.
on the TV
You had
the LA riots,
yeah, and then there was NWA on the
the posters?
poster.
Whenever we get there, I want to talk about the quote unquote one take they did, because I like the one takes. That's where I'll chime in with my information. Overall, again,
you're gonna talk about everything we talk about.
man, but I like the beginning scene. It was like, okay, what's going on? That was my whole thought process on that.
I love the actor that was playing. Also the guy that played is it T'Chaka? Is his dad T'Chaka?
T'Chaka.
So the guy playing his dad as a younger Black Panther, that was the original Black Panther costume for one. Or no, it was the Marvel Knights costume. Sorry, and then that was also the son of the guy who was playing the older version of T'Chaka.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool, the actual real life son. But the actor who was playing his brother, I really like that actor, and it was kind of cool that he was in it.
It was driving me crazy what I've seen him. I've seen him in a few
He's
things.
in This Is It. I don't watch it, but
But recently, you mean This Is Us?
whatever.
Yeah.
This Is It is a film I wrote. Sorry.
The motivations of his brother were a little wonky for me.
Really? Because
Yeah.
I actually thought it kind of
'Cause,
fit
well-
the rest of the film.
Well, his motivations. Well, was his the same as Killmonger's in the end, or was it just
It was similar.
well?
Which, I mean, that is his dad, so
Yeah.
it would be similar.
But is the idea of what he was doing not clear to Killmonger, and then as he got older, he started to think that more militantly, you know?
I think once he saw his dad get killed and he witnessed that, and then he became kind of,
Well, he didn't see his dad get killed. He found his.
well, he found his dad dead. I mean, and he knew how he died.
Yeah.
I think that kind of pushed him over the edge. All My Friends Are Dead. Stupid song. Sorry.
Did you like that they kind of gave it a mystery?
Of what? What do you mean?
That just, they were there and then they were gone, and then his uncle was never mentioned.
Yeah.
So
I love that. That's why I was like, when they brought that back later, and they showed the son later, who was the guy who was the kid that looked up after playing basketball. I was like, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I looked at him. I was like,
well, all
oh,
the kids looked up, but there was one that looked up longer.
Yeah, that was him.
No, I'm just saying, all the kids looked up. But he was the only one that kept staring.
The one that it focused on, at least.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. That was some good writing. I like how they went back to it. So that's my opinion on that scene.
The first little, I don't know what you want to call it. Problem with the CG in this movie is in this beginning.
Is it?
Yes.
I didn't notice it in the beginning.
Yeah, it's kind of wonky.
Well, what part in the beginning?
Just when he's fighting the guys.
Yeah.
It's just not great.
I didn't really notice in the beginning because I think our theater messed up again and it was too dark.
I found it extremely distracting watching that fight scene just because of the flashes and how quick he was moving. It just felt very disorienting to where my eyes were finding it hard to focus on him.
I don't actually. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you or anything. I just want to say, I think the fight scenes were not very well directed.
Just
in the beginning,
that fight scene I did not like. The other ones I did enjoy.
Yeah, there was.
The pacing of the fight scenes were, I think, a little too quick, but that makes sense because they're superhuman. They move fast, so
yeah.
But he doesn't move like at any other time.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So
even when he's fighting, Bucky, he's not moving like that.
The
different film though.
But still,
I know. I'm just being devil's advocate.
Yeah. But they've introduced what he can do and all that because he ran and he kept up with a car, a motorcycle, and then
such a cool scene.
Yeah. And then in the jungle he's moving like the Flash or
That I'll say that's a problem. Like the fight scenes are a problem with MCU in general. With a lot of movies that have fighting in it, it's always like these quick pace jump cuts.
Well, they want to keep the movie moving, but they don't want to have it a continuous action sequence.
But it just looks so bad. Like I'm like, what?
That is why I liked in around the middle of the movie that one take because we spent like enough time kind of gathering. It wasn't as quick paced as the other moments.
Even that had so much going on though.
It had a lot going on, but I was more interested in that fight scene in general with the other ones. And then one issue is he does move extremely quick. He can run, and catch a car, run on the side of a building. But at the ending, he couldn't run quick enough in the field. It looked like he was just running normal. And his suit wasn't...
What part?
The ending in the field.
Yeah, when the field, when is he running?
The whole... When he's just running in general, when he's trying to get to kill... It took him forever. And it didn't seem like he was that far away.
Yeah. Well, the Marvel movies are fairly inconsistent with things that their heroes can and can't do.
But again,
a lot of movies are inconsistent
we're
with that,
now
though.
just nitpicking.
Yeah.
Bits and pieces.
This is what this podcast is for, nitpicking. Anyways, let's keep it to scenes.
You're just trying to get so far ahead, David.
Yeah.
I was just...
All right, what's the next scene? So the next scene, the next scene is what he's talking about kind of, is with him jumping out the plane, going and fighting the people. That was like Spider-Man in the Venom costume. Like, jumping around buildings, not that great. So
yeah, I think it's because... like we're in a lot of stuff where we know about light.
Yeah.
And you watch that and you have somebody in a dark costume dropping into the dark, and so
was it dark for you too then?
It wasn't super dark, but it was just that as he's dropping, he's dropping out, he's dark because he's got the other colors around him, and then as he's falling, you can see that they're changing the tone of his suit to a grayish colors to distinguish him before they cut.
Oh wow. I never even noticed that.
It was distracting. Like I noticed it in one of the trailers, but I was just like, oh well, they'll fix that. And then I see it in the movie. I'm like, they didn't fix that, which kind of bothers me because this whole beginning fight and the CG and all that just doesn't hold up to the fact that they had this scene a long time ago that they were working on. did they not render it long enough, or so
I don't know. The scene was okay. I mean, it didn't take me out the film or anything yet.
I think it was mostly just to be like, here's an action scene.
Yeah.
We had talkie scene. Here's action scene.
I think that's actually exactly what it was.
Yeah.
That was kind of a pointless scene.
No,
when you think about
has
it.
a point.
No, with the action part of it.
Well,
Like,
he had to get her out of there.
yeah, but again, it's like you said. They were like, we need an action beat here, so they put an action piece.
You could have gone, stealthy, and just,
Which would have been a lot better.
because then your eyes, the gunshot flashes, and seeing all that, my eyes, it would have been.
He's the Black Panther. I want to see him do stealthy stuff.
It would have been easier to follow.
Don't you know Black is stealth?
Well, he moves like a cat. Like like in the comics, he's very stealthy, and I wanted to see. It would have been cooler if he would have been a little bit more stealthy there, which he was at the beginning. But just like Batman, in the films, they don't make him stealthy. He just fucking goes balls to the wall. Anyways,
We're talking about Black Panther, not
same characters. They're both black.
one's dark, not black.
So then what happened after that? They go to his ceremony.
Yes, he goes to a ceremony.
Manape comes.
His little group comes from the mountain. T'Challa saves. Well, doesn't kill him because he could.
Yeah.
But he makes the decision of like, hey, your people need you. So
I'm glad they didn't kill Manape. I like Manape. He's a good actor too.
Well, of course, he does that, and then it's what saves the battle later. So, it wasn't that much of a sacrifice. It was kind of, well, this is going to matter later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to get to. I'm really excited to get the Daniel Kaluuya's character, the guy from Get Out.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute. I just want to let you know, like, I have some thoughts about that. But yeah, so he fights Manape. He wins. Did anybody ever think he wasn't gonna win?
No,
That went on way too long, by the way.
I thought since I only watched like one of the trailers and didn't know much about the film, I thought that's where Killmonger was gonna show up, was when they were doing the chanting.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh, they're gonna introduce him now. All right, we'll see how that
Oh,
goes.
you know what? We actually did forget about Killmonger's first scene.
Oh yeah.
That was before that, because that's what.
Was it before?
Yeah, it was before that.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite moments of the
Yeah,
movie.
it's actually really good.
Where they're in the
It's a cool
museum in
heist
London.
plan.
Well, all right. Andy Serkis is fantastic in this movie.
So good.
Yes, I'm an
He
Andy
is
Serkis fan.
off the damn rails.
They killed him.
He is off the rails.
He's like the Black Panther's main villain, and they whatever.
Well, all right. Let's have a little prediction of like who's going to eventually come back after they do some kind of wild time travel thing coming up in these
You think that's what they're
movies.
gonna do? They have to, right? Because set photos that we've seen for Avengers 4.
Yeah.
There's a lot of back in time things.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one.
We'll get into more of that. Later.
It's gonna be one of the main. It's gonna be
Yeah,
like
we'll talk about
Captain
this later.
America, or Iron Man, or Spider-Man, or one of the big characters are gonna die, and then they'll be back.
Oh, I got my
all
theory.
gonna
I got my theory
Right.
on who dies in Infinity War.
It won't be Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange will probably be the one who takes it back in time.
Infinity War. I'll
Yeah.
throw
Anyways,
yeah,
we're on Black
something
Panther,
later. I'll throw
dude.
something
but I'm
out
just
later.
Okay, so they robbed the museum, which was a cool scene. I really enjoyed it.
Well, what's in that scene? What makes Killmonger so good at Michael B. Jordan so good in it is the fact that everything you need to know about that character is in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Yep.
He's cold. He's calculated. He lets you know why he's doing what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
He has clear vision on what he's doing.
and he looked good doing it.
I guess you like us.
Well, there is the.
Well, look, our first gay character, David. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, he did look pretty cool. He looked pretty dapper.
Well,
I don't really. Him kissing the girl at the end was kind of weird, but
thought it was kind of forced.
Well, he was just kind of like using the organization to get what he wants.
Yeah, definitely.
But some of the later stuff is kind of questionable story-wise, which I think makes it a little rough.
What stuff?
Why didn't he just take Claw out earlier and just take him to Wakanda then? Why did he have to wait until...
Yeah, I don't know. now you say that, I like...
Plot development.
Well, yeah, but character motivation, it kind of doesn't make sense to have it so late for him to do that.
Maybe he had... Yeah, and then how did he know that Daniel Kaluuya's character wanted Claw dead so bad? That's a plot hole. I just thought about that.
No, he didn't know. He just drug him there. It was a coincidence that he was there. It was all coincidence then.
Still felt like a plot hole a little bit.
Well, because his people were the ones that are on the outskirts of Wakanda. So, no matter what, he was going to run into him.
All right,
that part's not that much of a plot hole.
Okay.
It's just convenience.
Yeah. Okay, so then we move to him with the ceremony, and then when he goes and sees his father,
Mufasa.
the whole time.
This actually has a very Lion King feel to it. I was getting at a lot.
Definitely.
Hamlet.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that scene. It was very pretty. And I actually enjoyed the way they did Michael B. Jordan's one even more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, cool. It was
Well,
cool.
The one for Killmonger later, I think basically since he goes to the apartment, it just shows he's never left there mentally. Yeah. He's just there.
Well, it goes to where like what? Yeah, I'm not gonna add to that. And you're right.
It's not explained what that is, whether it's an actual spiritual realm or if it's some kind of weird hallucination. But no matter what, it just shows that that's where he's at. That's where his mind frame is. That's the catalyst of everything for him.
Oh, can I also just say I hate Forrest Whitaker? He's so bad. He ruined Rogue One for me.
He wasn't good in Rogue One.
Oh, it was horrible.
He's a good actor.
He's not a good actor. He's not a good actor.
Yeah, he is. What have you seen him in?
Everything.
Everything.
I don't know. Rogue One.
See,
He's been in other things. I just don't enjoy him. I don't enjoy the way he acts. He's always, what will you do? And yes, that's from Rogue One, but he's always like that.
No, he is.
He's always like that, dude. He was in it like he was the same way in this film.
No, he wasn't.
It was so bad. I hated it so much.
He was pretty compared to Rogue One. He was pretty laid back in this one.
I just don't enjoy his acting. It took me out of the film.
Well, my thing is, I got into a discussion with somebody else about this. And they said the same thing that you did, and I'm like, "Well, what movies have you seen him in?" They went, "Well, Rogue One," and I'm like, "What else?" They're like, "That doesn't matter."
I've seen him in other films, but his films are so forgettable. I just can't remember them. I always get him and Lawrence Fishburne mixed up.
They are two completely different people that look completely different.
Same people to me.
That's like me saying, Jordan, Dave. I don't know. If Dave's not wearing a hat, I don't know which one it is.
Okay.
Dave wears pink one day. It's gonna really throw me off.
What's after that scene?
That's when they do the James Bond and Q scene.
Yeah, they go. He visits his.
Oh, he goes visits his.
Goes to visit his sister.
There was a Back to the Future reference in there.
There was a YouTube reference in there.
Was there?
Mm-hmm.
You gonna elaborate?
When he's wearing the sandals and she's like, "What are those?" That was a YouTube video.
I hated that.
It was funny in the movie.
That was 2 years ago.
And then when somebody brought it up to me, I went, "Oh, that kind of ruins it," because it was funny in the movie. And then I'm like, "Oh."
That would have literally been very, very funny if that was 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It just felt weird. I don't know.
It is weird.
But I was okay with it. Just I felt like, oh, maybe they're behind.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, technically it was 2 years ago because the film took place 2 years ago.
There you go. That's why it's relevant.
There we go, guys. I solved it.
See, you solved that puzzle.
It's good now.
You solved that unnecessarily unsolved puzzle.
Yeah. But some of that equipment was really cool.
Yeah.
I like the whole, as he said, James Bond and Q. I've always liked those moments of seeing the cool equipment. I like the smart person who makes all the cool equipment. I enjoy that.
She's a teenager. She's the smartest person in the MCU, and that is confirmed.
Yeah.
which is cool. They say she's gonna be.
That's fantastic, and I was really worried about that.
You know what's really funny? That people are like, oh, she can be the next Iron Man because right now there's a black female as Iron Man in the comics.
And the new Iron Man armor seems like it is just like the Black Panther's new armor.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but I don't think that's what's gonna happen at all.
Well, they show the armor on Iron Man in the trailers going on him just like the Black Panthers does.
Okay.
Apparently somebody hasn't watched the trailers over and over again like a psycho.
I hate the trailers. I hated all the trailers.
You can only do so much with these.
I just don't like
trailers.
rap music. And
What?
it really took me out of it.
You suck.
You suck balls, dude.
You suck.
Alright.
So,
Where are we at?
David,
No, we were talking about the Infinity War trailer, and then all of a sudden
He
you
goes
jump
in-
in with Black Panther trailer.
We never talked about the Infinity War trailer.
I just did.
He just did with Iron Man's suit. How it spreads like Black Panther's suit. And that's because of the Infinity War, and then
I
you
thought you were
say,
talking about Black Panther.
I fucking hate it.
I love the Infinity War trailer. It's fantastic. I watched it like 20,000 times.
And you missed this element.
I'm confused.
Everybody says that. So,
Aw.
I couldn't resist. Like that's, oh.
All right. Anyway, so then they go to the well, we get into your scene.
Yay.
Here we are.
Okay, so then we go to the scene. You know what? Now I'm thinking about it, there's not a lot of Killmonger in this movie. I would have liked more.
Nah, that's the other problem they have is when they have a villain that in a Marvel movie that they don't show a lot of. Unfortunately, they don't do a lot with them. But with
Yeah.
him, like he's so motivated. He's just so straightforward going for it that you know what he's doing the
Yeah.
whole time.
And
So-
he is in a lot of Act 2 and Act 3, though.
So when you don't see him,
Well, apparently there's Act 2 and Act 3.
so when you don't see him, and then he pops up, you know he's still on that trajectory.
Yeah, which I was fine not seeing him in it, but I would have liked a little bit more. But anyways, we get to the scene where the one take happens, and we see Martin Freeman. Oh my god, that made me so happy. I knew Martin Freeman was in it, but when I saw him and the way he just looked, it was fucking hilarious.
Favorite Stan Lee cameo, I will
Oh,
say.
it
It is
was
my
great.
favorite Stan Lee cameo.
Him and the Watcher are really good too.
Mine's
though.
in the Guardians.
Yeah, the Watcher.
A lot of people do not like the Stanley cameo because it's just so clunky.
Which one?
In the Black Panther. A lot of people don't like it.
How's it clunky?
Because he just kind of like, I'm gonna take this.
I thought he did amazing acting
it's
in it.
literally like they just had a puppet pop its head up, wave, and then drop out.
Dude, I thought he did amazing acting. I thought it was fantastic.
amazing acting. I don't know about
Dude,
that.
it was actually really good. Go watch it again.
I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying other people. Frank may pop up, by the way.
Whatever.
So we'll have a.
He hasn't heard all the juicy bits.
He'll have his input if he does pop in.
All right. Anyways,
so back to the podcast.
So that whole scene's really good,
Mhm.
especially when the fighting starts. I didn't know that one take when they go from the first floor to the second floor was actually like real. Like
Mhm.
they just had a movie on a rope and they flew it up there. Not flew it up there, but they got it
Yeah.
up there, and then someone else picked it up from up top.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. I thought it was like they did CGI somehow or just did a drone, but I didn't think they did a drone.
I like when they do one take fight scenes because.
Oh my God, Dave! Please just go ahead and do this.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
All right, so now I'll keep it short because it doesn't. It's not like the other fight scenes where it's cut quick. You actually get to follow it, and it actually takes time and a lot of effort for it to look good. Even though it's not a true one take, they have cuts in there, but still, the extended takes to make that is what just makes that my favorite scene, just because of the time and effort put into it. Now I'm done.
That was definitely a cool scene. Even
Dave?
Ryan.
Dave Coulier?
No, a cool The
Who's that?
character. She's the bodyguard of
Okay.
Black Panther. She's Michonne from Walking Dead, apparently.
No.
No?
No.
Yes, she is.
Nakia.
No, that's Lupita Nyong'o.
No.
Nakia's Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah.
That's not Michonne from Walking Dead.
All right.
Lupita Nyong'o is the one that gets raped in 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's
But,
pretty hot in that. She has a big butt.
Oh,
Dude, I really like her. She's
you're
really
right.
hot. Yeah, I know I'm right. Yeah, even Ryan Coogler was like, yeah, we wanted to focus on Okoye in this scene.
Well, you have to show that, and unfortunately, throughout this whole movie, the women are the dominant force in it, and the best fighters.
Did you say unfortunately? I thought I heard.
Did I say unfortunately?
I think you did. I don't know.
said for the main character.
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
I don't know, but no, fortunately, because it's something that I don't think anybody's talking about is the fact that how dominant the women are in the movie.
Yeah, they were really
And-
cool.
Yeah.
But it wasn't over. It wasn't like thrown at you like, oh, look at this, we got women.
Well, I think it's because of the fact that T'Challa's kind of he's pretty stoic. The way he's just he's not an overreactor.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely makes him stand out in the MCU because so many of the others are just reactors, and he's got a little more kind of calculates a little the situation.
Yeah.
Like even when with them, he's telling them just hang back, and then my favorite spot in the movie, where he turns around, where she drops the guy off the balcony, and he turns around like, what's going on? It's like, who did that?
So one of my favorite things about this film, also, by the way, is it's an origin story, but it did not feel like an origin story, just like Spider-Man: Homecoming was.
Did not at all.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man: Homecoming really felt like an origin to me.
You thought so?
Yeah.
Dude, I thought it did.
It didn't have the, because everybody knows about Uncle Ben, everybody knows about the spider bite.
Yeah, we didn't need any of that.
him trying to get into his own, which I thought that, now think of it, that movie is a little too dominated by Robert Downey Jr.
What? It's not.
It is.
He's in it for like a total of 5 to 10 minutes.
He's in there too much. And then Jon Favreau's in there too much.
Oh, Jon Favreau was awesome.
Oh, I love Jon Favreau, but I'm just saying.
I love his character. Happy?
Yeah, for it to have really, for that character to spread their wings, so to say, I think you need a less of them.
Fuck you, Terry. Anyways, are we still on this one take scene? Are we done with it?
Oh no, so I'm done. You can move on.
Well, we can move on to the second CG scene that I don't like.
Which one is it?
Is
the one him running?
Like I love the chase. Him running always looks fake.
Yeah.
It just.
He looked really fake in Black Panther or in Civil War. If you really go back and look at it,
Yeah.
There was parts of it like it was like.
Well,
oh,
the
shit.
problem is like he's wearing the suit he's wearing. When he moves, it loses definition.
Mm.
So it just looks like this weird like if he took a kid and asked him to draw an outline around somebody, they would just draw this like giant almost star shape around him, and there would be no like trying to move along the edges so quick. Now I'm going to do this real quick, but I think that's the main reason is that it's hard to do black. I think it's why with like the Batman costumes there's some gray into them.
That's why they added the purple to his suit, which I didn't personally like.
I don't like it either, but
It's weird.
but it's probably because of how it went in Civil War. They were like, we need to do something to get a little more definition to this.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a possibility. But what's cool about that is the lettering that goes through it.
There's lettering.
Yeah, all that purple, it lights up. It's the Wakandan language.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Who knew?
That I only learned from a video I watched where they were talking about the suits.
They made the CGI way too hard on themselves, which is why I think towards the end the CGI turned to shit, like actual shit.
I thought the CG got better as the movie went on. I think it
so?
was.
There was so much ragdoll in the end. Like,
Well, the CG characters didn't hold up very well, but I think the overall look of the CG looked pretty good. The set extensions, because that they just filmed all that on on a soundstage,
Yeah.
so it didn't look like on the waterfall where it's like, oh look, they're on a green screen. Yeah.
I'm liking this movie a lot less talking about it. So that's chase scene. Yeah. What did you think about the chase scene, David?
Keep it short. It was good.
Cool.
Since you guys interrupted the one thing I did care about, I'm gonna keep everything else short.
How did we interrupt it? What are you talking about?
Wait. What did we interrupt?
We interrupted one take apparently.
Yeah, the one thing I cared about.
No. I told you go with it.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, and then you had it the entire rest of the time.
Well, that was you jerking off. Jerking that scene off. How you doing, scene? How you doing, huh?
I just don't feel like there was any standout scenes in this film.
There's plenty of standout scenes, but they're all character scenes.
Yeah.
It's not the action scenes.
I don't care about action. I really don't.
Well, that's the big saving grace for me for the movie is the character scenes. I love the character scenes.
Yeah,
The action
there are
scenes.
some good ones.
Like, I'm so goddamn tired of somebody jumping in the air and landing on something and it just being like slow motion crush. Then they jump,
Backflip.
and they land on something and they go.
Yeah.
It's like
It's getting way overused.
it's so over fucking used.
I like it in Ant-Man though.
When
far.
when I saw it in the trailer, I went fuck. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this.
Slow-mo is cool when it's done well.
But it's done so much.
Yeah, it's the new cool thing.
I do like how he used his claws to rip off the wheel.
Yeah, that was
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
when he turned the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome, dude.
What did you think of the spear throwing?
That was fucking cool.
I like the spirit
That was
throw.
cool.
That, I was.
The physics looked weird to me though.
Yeah.
Because like when it hits, it's kind of like up farther than it should be.
Mm.
But that's just me because I like physics. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, that shouldn't be right there.
I like physics.
Yeah, but I thought it was really cool. It was clever.
Yeah.
I don't think she really needed to do that. I'm sure there could have been something else she could
Oh,
have
she
done.
stopped him. So that was just like we need to bring this thing to a close.
I like when Claw like explodes the car, and then Lupita Nyong'o's character Nakia just kind of rolls up,
Just slides up in the seat. Do you think that the T'Challa almost killing Claw was kind of out of character?
I felt like that because he said he was going to bring him back.
Well, he said either kill him where he stands or bring him back.
Yeah,
And then he said he was going to bring him back
Yeah.
alive.
and then he was gonna.
It felt forced. It did feel forced.
It was just a really odd. It's almost like, was that a reshoot?
It also felt like, what was the motivation behind that?
Yeah.
Because if one of the other people, like if like someone else died along the way,
Yeah, that'd
then it makes sense for him to do
understandable.
that. But everyone's okay.
Exactly.
Other than the fact that at some point Claude did Wakanda wrong, T'Challa didn't have any kind of personal thing against him to get to that point.
Yeah, because it wasn't even Claw who killed his dad or anything.
Right. It
He just stole. He stole vibranium one day.
And then he killed some people when he did it. But
Yeah.
it wasn't anything to where.
He was
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about
involved.
it, now that you're bringing that up, I was like, why did he do that at all?
Yeah. See, a lot of these movies, since they do the green screen and all that so much that they can just go back to the studio and throw them in their costume and be like, all right, we're going to do a reshoot. But it just seems so clunky, because maybe the original was that they just crashed, and they said, oh, maybe T'Challa didn't do enough, so we need a scene where he has to do something, and it was kind of a force. That's why it seemed like a reshoot to me.
Yeah, and no one's gonna think, oh, he's gonna kill Claw here.
Yeah.
No one thought that.
Yeah.
Like, come on, you don't need that scene at all.
Like if he just kind of banged him around a little bit,
Yeah.
But that's overused. But if he did that, it would make more sense than what he had done.
to just try to kill him.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
threaten that he was going to do it.
Also, in the film, I would have loved to have seen more of just like him in his suit, Black Panther, just standing, looking cool. Like we didn't get enough of that, honestly.
Because that makes a movie. It's just somebody standing.
It looked
looking
cool. He looked cool. Anyways,
Well,
so then do we move on to where he's in custody?
Andy Serkis's tour de force performance.
Oh, it was so good.
Dave,
I
why
love
don't
when
you take
I
this
love when
one?
he was singing.
Why don't you take this scene?
It's gonna be short. It's
Just
not a movie that I am truly passionate about, that I want to sit down and break it bit by bit. If we did something, something else, a different movie. Again, the Marvel movies, in my opinion, are just pure entertainment. There are little things that will irritate me, but again, Andy Serkis, anytime he's on screen, no matter what, I will always enjoy it.
He's one of my favorite actors.
Yes, I wish he got nominated for an Oscar for Best Actor in War for the Planet of the Apes.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. I love that movie. But he was just so crazy. He was just so entertaining to watch him in Black Panther. That scene, I like that scene. But again, there's not much input. That's why I'm keeping quiet, because I don't care enough to break down this. I like it. I will go see the movies, but I don't really want to break it down. And it's just not the movie for me to do it with.
But all right, here's the thing. Like, I can understand what you're saying, but I'm just talking about his performance.
Oh, and
just this whole situation. Because if you can't really take this out of the movie and put it in another movie, because the character is so ingrained in this movie, so it makes it important. And the fact that, like, he's this loose cannon, and you kind of see it more and more, like when he blew up the safe in the casino, and he's like laughing. He goes, "I made it rain. Look at me, I made it rain."
Oh, that was great.
And then when
the mixtape.
the
line was funny.
mixtape that was pretty fun. I'll send you my mixtape.
I loved when he was singing the song, "Baby, don't hurt me."
Yeah. So
I was because I thought I heard it, and I was like, "Where's that coming from?" And then he's singing. I'm like, "Oh shit, that's funny."
he was one of my favorite casting. I loved him in this. It hurt a little bit when they killed him, but I like that because I was not expecting.
David can attest to this. I was like in denial the entire time. I was like, they didn't show it. He's not dead. And then he's dragging his body. I'm like, God damn it, God damn it, man.
yeah. But again, we'll get to future references to things here.
Fuck you.
That's so uncool. You're so hurtful.
Anyways, but yeah.
Hurtful.
And then Michael B. Jordan shows up.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Well, I do like the mask, and
that was cool. It's a reference to his actual mask in comics.
But it was cool when he stole the mask.
Yeah.
And he's there like, what's that? I'm feeling it.
I just dig it. Yeah.
So
It's like the only time you actually see the mask.
yeah. But I thought this escape was kind of clunky. I do love that they had it in an alleyway, just this dirty looking alleyway, because it just made me think of the comics. And I'm pretty big on, like, when people go, oh well, this character this character this. As long as they get the character and the basic idea of something from a book or a comic book, I'm usually pretty happy. It doesn't have to be word for word, scene for scene for me, because I will just go and look at it as, the movie's one thing, the book's another. The book is still there. Just because the movie wasn't what you wanted it to be, or they didn't do this or this, then you don't need to whine and complain, because you still have. But it's always been that way. Like, one of my favorite stories is when they made the movie The Big Chill. Some people complained that the movie ruined the book. They're interviewing the writer of the book, and they're saying, "What do you think about people saying that they ruined your book?" And he goes, "Well, the book's fine. It's right here on the shelf. You can still read it."
Yeah, that's why I don't like direct adaptations.
Direct adaptations are fine, and I understand when you have to change things. Like Watchmen, when they changed the ending of that, it's because there was so much they had to cut out, and the ending in a movie would have been pretty goofy. So, but when they put little things like the Easter eggs, the reference things, somebody put something on, like his mask, being a reference to what Killmonger wears in the comic. But something as simple as an alleyway, excuse me, is pretty cool. And because so many comic books, they're in alleyways and they're in rooftops and stuff like that. So when you actually get those in a comic book movie, it's like, hey, look at that. But how, if Black Panther can move as fast as he can, how did he not catch up with that truck?
That's what I'm saying. It's like he moves so quick. He can run faster than a car, but when he's 25, 30 feet away, he can't make it.
Yeah, why did that thing hurt him?
He landed. He was on a grenade.
Yeah, he
was like a grenade launcher. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so he should have, because of the suit, he should have been able to
absorb that.
Take off, use that to take, to zip over and get to the back of that truck, and then they shoot him with a rocket. It affects him. It affects the suit too. If this is a new suit, how did somebody know how to affect the suit? So I'm really destroying this movie for Jordan right now.
Dude, you're making me like it less. Like
still a good movie.
Yeah, we'll rate it at the end. Like
you can pick apart any movie. Like you can pick any movie that I love, and I can guarantee you, I will pick apart that movie like crazy.
Oh, I can too.
So it's just little things that, and this is what I mean, that this is how all the Marvel movies are. When somebody has a powerful suit or a superpower or something, there's always like this slight moment where it just doesn't work right.
Yeah. No, it is a hard, like, because I was writing like a kind of like superhero kind of thing, and it is kind of hard sometimes to be like, all right, how do I make this interesting? Because I mean, they're pretty much powerful. So it is hard. I get it, and I get the struggles of it, but I mean, you got to come up with a better way.
Well, this is why it's hard for some people to write Superman stuff, because he is because he's so powerful, and he holds back so much. Like we've talked about it before, but stupid things like this didn't work, or like the thing I didn't like in Iron Man 3, which gave you Tony outside the suit, but the fact that he had trouble powering the suit, and after the Avengers, there's nobody to come help him. It's little things like that. It's like don't introduce things and then be like, oh well, this can't happen.
That is probably the biggest problem with the MCU, is just because they give you these things where you're like, why didn't this happen though?
Yeah.
Why didn't this happen? I mean,
now that
with comics in general, I think
with Infinity War coming up, there's no reason why anybody shouldn't anybody from the Guardians of the Galaxy or any of the other Marvel movies wouldn't end up in the situations together after.
Yeah.
Unless they get rid of the whole.
I don't know what's gonna. We'll talk about that at the end of the podcast, but I don't know what's gonna happen, honestly.
But going back to this, the fact that this isn't taking place in America makes it completely believable that nobody else is going to come help.
And the Wakandans are so reserved, and like they don't really.
Well, they're in South Korea at this time.
Oh, I'm just saying, like Wakandans don't really ask for help. They don't,
yeah.
And that's how Black Panther has always been.
That's the whole message in the movie, is the fact that the Wakandans want to keep themselves segregated. Political points here, yeah. And like we get to the end of the movie, and then it's T'Challa, is going to share what Wakanda has with the world.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing where they keep saying that it's going to change the Marvel universe, is because now you have all this more advanced technology and stuff. So,
by the way, there's a Namor reference in the film.
Is there?
It's a line. It's like literally a direct quote from a comic where Black Panther is talking to Namor.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
And dude, Namor is like one of my favorite characters, and that made me so fucking happy. I want Namor in Black Panther too. If we don't get Namor, I'll be real fucking pissed. Even though I know Universal owns the rights, but so does the Universal owns the rights to Hulk as well.
I don't think they have.
No, they do. They do.
They still have Namor.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they do. They have Hulk and Namor, but they're allowed to use. But Marvel uses them. They just can't have their own film right now, at least. Which you don't need to give Namor his own film right now. You really don't. Put him in Black Panther 2, and have it. Oh, Black Panther versus Namor. Oh my god! I just came a little bit. All right.
Okay.
Anyways, let's get back to Black Panther because we got started.
Well, maybe this is the end of the first act. Well, think about it. Maybe it is. Maybe. I'm not saying it is. I still think when he catches Claw, because he's on a high point. But this is
you're saying this film. Yeah, no, I think when they catch Claw is the end of the first act.
Yeah.
I mean, now that I'm thinking about that does feel like the end of that first act.
Because it goes into a whole new filth to the movie.
Yeah. And then what's after that?
It's when he goes back home. And some people are not happy.
I thought Killermonger's scene was next.
It is. Because
they said that they have to go back to Wakanda to save Ross.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the little junkyard airport.
Okay. So we are on Killmonger and Claw. Okay. Goodbye, Claw. R.I.P. Dude,
Dave, why are you so happy Claw's gone? You're big smiles over there.
It's just he was an important character. He was in Avengers 2. They were setting him up, and it was like, oh, he's going to be important. And then they kill him off. I'm like, thank you, Marvel, for doing something like that, even though you messed up in Civil War when you should have killed people off. But
Claw was so good.
It was nice.
Well, that I know we keep sidetracking, but that is another big problem with Marvel movies is the fact that there's no danger for the heroes.
Never.
They put them in danger, but there's no danger because they're pretty free with saying, oh well, we got a 12-picture deal with so and so,
But I enjoyed that just because it was refreshing for Marvel to actually kill off someone important, even though he was a villain.
I did like that he shot that girl.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he's cold-blooded. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Because, again, he's still moving forward.
Yeah. It's his plan.
Nothing's stopping his plan.
Nothing. Not even someone he might have a little bit of feelings for.
He probably didn't. Cause
I thought they should have went into that a little bit more. Just slightly more. Like, not. I don't want a whole scene or anything. I just want, like, kind of something a little bit more. But, like,
But then that's getting in the cliches. And then the problem that makes movies lopsided is when they start adding things in that you don't need.
Yeah.
And you start adding this whole secondary character of this girlfriend and all that. You don't need that because you know what you need to know. That's
I think she served her
girlfriend.
purpose, right?
That's all she was there for. She was a girlfriend. She helped him out with this one situation.
I got a Tinder message, guys.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, somebody swipe left.
What? It's like right.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I like that. Do you like that, David? Do you like that scene?
Dave's looking to see if he got a Tinder message.
He did not.
I got a text message from my mother, but
Super sad.
No,
no, no, mommy.
Shit always gets weird when it's my turn to do something. There's not been one normal moment where people are just having a normal conversation. It's when it's my turn, it just goes downhill. I'm okay with that. But no, personally, I actually like Michael B. Jordan as the villain. I think you feel for it because at one moment you're like, man, like what he's doing, like you feel. It's like, yeah, I feel for you. Mm-hmm. And then you're kind of like Black Panther's the bad one, and you have like a little bit of like turning the tables. I like that.
Well, I didn't feel for him until we kind of learned what was going on.
And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, it's like you're saying that you're like, well, what's his deal? What's his deal? What's his deal? And then, which
it just shows how much that little scene helped build him as a villain.
Yeah,
and it probably didn't take that long. So Marvel needs to do that with more, so we'll have better villains.
Well, it seems like they've been learning.
Yeah.
Like look at like with Ragnarok, even Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I know I was saying stuff about it earlier, but
hey guys, I'm gonna interrupt you. So this Tinder message says, "Hi, sorry I was creeping, and I wanted to say your smile was really beautiful. Thank you." Anyways, go ahead.
It's a dude, by the way.
It's not.
It is a guy. That's obviously a guy.
Oh my god. Okay.
Look at the mustache. That's a full-on.
You can't even see.
That's a full-on 70s mustache.
She has pink hair.
She has pink hair. Okay, that's a wig. That's a guy. You know you like
She has
it.
blue hair now.
She's fickle. What movie's that referencing? But no, it's they do seem to be learning, and I think they know that they can very well not make a fantastic movie. They can't just throw anything up on the screen, because I think for a little bit there, I think that's kind of what they thought. Yeah, but you know, some of the solo movies kind of started to go downhill, box office wise. So
now they have one of the most important villains that they better get right coming up. Thanos.
They set him up. He better be fucking good.
You mean Darkseid?
Yes.
You shut your goddamn mouth.
Yes.
Thanos is literally a copy of Darkseid.
Look, I know this, but Thanos is fucking better.
Nah, Darkseid has a whole world, and the only one that can defeat him is Superman.
He's a better villain, though. Darkseid sucks.
Hey, Batman can go toe to toe with Darkseid.
Yeah, which makes Darkseid a fucking loser piece of shit. Anyways, so next scene. So he goes home.
I'm just doing this to get a rise up.
So he goes home. So the reason I don't like, so Daniel Kaluuya's character, why the fuck did he turn so quickly? That was really annoying.
Well, he even says, he expected more from him than T'Chaka.
But it was so quick. It was
It was
so
quick. It was quick, but
because at first I thought they were like, oh, they're best friends.
yeah.
And then apparently they're not.
Because he before he left, he even said that, hey, when they had the little council meeting, he was like, that this man, like, he wanted to go. He wanted to go, and he's like, no, I'll handle this. And then he comes back, and for him it was, well, this is just the same old all the time. This is how you end up with people doing fucked up shit. They get tired of people in power just doing the same thing over and over again, no result. And it's like, oh, well, this one's going to come and they're going to make it better. And it's like, well, I guess you're the exact same as the other one.
But it wasn't his fault. Like, so Claw got away. How is that his fault? That's why Daniel Kaluuya's character really kind of just pissed me off there, because he made a mistake. But it wasn't like he made it on purpose.
They are the most advanced civilization on Earth. There should be no reason why he wouldn't get him, and that's what his mindset is. You got to get in that character's mindset.
I just thought it was really lazy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You got to get in the character's mindset. Why are they doing what they're doing?
I don't think I like this movie that much. No, it's still a good movie.
It is good.
Next scene.
But you got to get in that character's mindset,
Yeah.
and understand where they're coming from. Like, for 30 years, this man's been waiting for this person to be brought to justice for killing his family, and he's heard the same thing over and over again. Oh, we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him. We'll get him. We're gonna get him.
He got away.
He got away, or we're having trouble, and like they had the perfect opportunity to get him, and nothing.
Whatever, man. Whatever you say. As long as you think it's decent, that's fine with me.
But with the battle at the end,
I hate that battle.
well, with that, and then when him and Oiki Okoye, when they're fighting, and he said, my love, would you actually kill me? And she's like, for the throne, yes.
No, for Wakanda.
But and then I think
that relationship gonna be now.
It's gonna be really awkward at dinner time.
You think he's in jail or something? Like he's in Wakanda prison? I feel like he should be.
No.
If he's not, that's dumb.
Because of it's kind of a weird situation, because he's still following the king, but then it's he was going for what it is that he wanted. He wanted something to change.
Yeah, but technically the trial wasn't over. Like the combat wasn't over. So
but didn't know that until
No, he knew because Okoye said the trial's not over.
Well,
and,
no,
and
when
then they decide, oh, let's do it.
Yeah, but you know, he was in that mode of change.
I guess. What do you think, David?
Character motivation, Dave.
I'm all for it. I think hearing the same bullshit for so long and having your parents killed. And,
Oh, crybaby! What a crybaby!
And you know, him, you know, trusting his friend, and you know, you finally see results, and you're like, oh, and he's, you know, he's Wakanda, and he's pretty much he's the heir, like he has the right to the throne. I feel like I'm all for it. It works.
Yeah,
It could have been done differently, but I'm not complaining about that.
well, it's still motivated, and there's
Yeah,
a motivation behind it. It isn't just because.
Yeah, I mean I get it. So that's not.
Well, think about even in like our political climate now and how people follow political parties, and I'm not saying, you know, which one, but it's like they just completely lock themselves in with that party and whatever they're doing because they're like, well, this is this and this is this, and there's so much thrown around where people get confused and they're just like, yeah, they just stay in that groove, and this is what I'm doing because of this. It's a very real thing for somebody to do.
Yeah, the reason why I liked it is I was able to connect with the certain characters.
Mm-hmm.
I was completely able to understand the villain. I was understanding his character of why he decided to go with Killmonger and all that.
It was a clear motivation.
And I agree with how you were saying, to where the action scenes weren't the best, but when it was just the characters and them talking, the dialogue, and their characters' motivation and the development somewhat, I agree. I liked it.
Okay, so next one was this is when he finds out about his cousin, which is Killmonger.
Yeah.
With Zuri. So that was cool. I love that scene actually. Kind of revealed a lot of things. I was like, oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah. Again, wide is my opinion. I like that. That was actually a really cool scene that it was cutting back to the very first scene that we saw. I thought that was good writing. It was cool because you figure out who's what. It was cool. I like the connection from that point to the beginning.
Yeah, because it actually matters. Like some of the other movies they've been doing that with, it's kind of like, oh, okay, that was kind of cool, but I don't think it had the same weight that
no, this one had
does.
weight
Yeah.
to it. That whole.
It did affect me. It didn't emotionally affect me, but I was like, oh, wow.
I think the scene where it's skipping ahead, but when he went back to the apartment to talk to his father to understand the motivation, I like that a lot, because that's where you're truly connected with the villain and you're like, oh man, I get it.
Yeah.
And then the next scene is when Killmonger comes to Wakanda finally, Dragon Claw. That was actually a really cool scene.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
I just like when he unwraps it and the satisfaction that
Daniel Kaluuya's character.
Yeah.
What's the character's name?
Wakabi.
Is it Wakabi?
Yeah, I think it's Wakabi.
Wasabi.
When yeah, that's what it sounds. But when he sees, it's just like, look what somebody finally did.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's why I think that he had that whole turn to stick with him later on, is because
he got results.
Well, yeah, he's getting stuff done. When people see somebody getting stuff done, they Jordan, what are you doing?
I'm watching you.
But you see him get stuff done, and then of course you're going to be like, well, I'm going to go with them.
So, okay. I'm not really skipping ahead because this is like the next scene. It really felt redundant having that battle scene in on like the the challenge.
Well, that's
again.
that's the tradition.
I know we needed it. I know it needed to happen, but I don't know. It just felt so redundant. I was like, oh my god, this again.
Well, it was shorter too.
It was a lot shorter, thankfully.
But you know,
I feel like this one should have been longer than the first one, though.
well, no. The other one you had to kind of set
it up.
that because such a big somebody so much bigger than T'Challa and he beats him, and then you get somebody that he's about the same size as and he like
bigger a little
rips him around like a rag doll.
Yeah, and then we get Michael B. Jordan's soul scene or whatever.
Which I liked.
I liked it a lot. It was
Yeah.
really cool, especially like cutting back in between the younger self and the older self.
It does something that the other Marvel movies don't do. It gave a point of view of the villain.
Yeah, and that little scene is what is making him such a strong villain in the MCU. I believe.
I think some of the problem is people think you can get away with what they did with, and I know you don't like it, but with the Joker in The Dark Knight is because he's just chaos. That's just kind of the Joker. So you don't have to do anything where you need to explain him because that's kind of what his character is.
The less understanding you have of the Joker, the better the Joker's going to be. I think.
So they think they can do that with all their villains.
No.
Like in Guardians of the Galaxy. What was the deal? with
Ronan the
Ronan?
Accuser.
Yeah. What was his deal? He
He
I
hated the
didn't-
Zendarians.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm so upset with it. And then it turns out that he doesn't even he's not even part of a ruling faction of.
No, he's just a radical.
He's just and then it's like
He could have been set up a
he's
little
got
bit more.
one ship, so what's he? You get rid of that one ship, then you're
But that's
done
why
with him.
that's why the power gem was such an important
Yeah.
MacGuffin.
Yeah,
Because that's what he wanted to use to destroy Zendar.
yeah, but you just got these scene after scene of him just kind of blah 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 blah. Oh, I'm upset about this. Oh, I'm upset about that.
So back to Black Panther, the next scene when the camera starts upside down with Michael B. Jordan walk to the
Yeah.
throne and it turns. I love that.
That was some really good camera.
That was
I
cool.
like that a lot.
That was cool.
And he was wearing the sandals, by the way.
Was he?
I don't know why, but I noticed it when he was walking.
That's awesome.
I mean, and then after that, it's pretty much just the fight scene, like the last battle scene.
Well, I mean, they find
They
T'Challa's.
find-
They think T'Challa's dead.
They
and
go to
then-
the Man-Ape's
The whole
place, which is actually a really cool design. I love the design.
Oh,
of it. It
yeah.
was beautiful,
that-
especially in
that-
the snow.
the mountain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really cool. I love that. So then we get to that T'Challa comes back. That moved really quickly for me.
Yeah, the last part of the movie does move pretty
Yeah.
quick.
Did anybody think that Man-Ape wasn't going to help with his army?
Well, he was.
Yeah,
That's
happens in every movie.
that's the big cliche of a lot of these movies.
Not even just Marvel. It's just a cliche of like a lot of movies like that where they ask for help, they say no.
Lord of the
They
Rings
come back
also
later.
did it.
Lord of the Rings did do it.
Too.
Lord of the Rings can
Star
start that
Wars
though.
did it.
Yeah.
Han
Shut up.
Solo left. Han Solo came back.
Shut up. Star Wars started it.
No, it's an old
I know.
cliche.
But yeah, I don't like the last battle scene. There was a lot of bad CGI in that. Like a lot of ragdolly people getting thrown around and stuff. Ew. It looks so bad, especially with Black Panther versus Killmonger in their suits in the tunnel. That
Yeah,
looked
I
terrible.
couldn't distinguish who was who.
I thought of Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I could.
Oh, dude, I didn't think about that.
I couldn't distinguish who was who.
Yeah, that was stupid.
It was.
Because there's such a slight color
Yeah.
difference.
It's,
You're
it's
like,
gold and silver.
if they would have
Well,
changed,
purple, cause
was the kinetic energy different?
yeah, it was
Colors?
gold and
Yeah.
purple.
Well, no. That's the other thing. He should have been able to beat him easy because his suit. Well, no.
They were
his-
both- they were
yeah,
both-
I
both.
forgot. I forgot.
I don't know. It was just.
But let's get to.
Of course, it was a Black Panther versus a Black Panther.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a cliche. I mean, there was Iron Man versus Iron Man, or technically.
Yeah. So they held strong to their continuing.
Yeah.
But let's get to the very end after the battle.
Where he takes him out to the
Where
sunset.
he takes him out to the sunset.
It's so beautiful.
I like that.
The way he
It was
delivered
such
it
a
was
beautiful looking area.
It was
It's
so
supposed to be,
beautiful,
like,
and the
lighthearted,
way
but-
he delivered it was really
Oh,
powerful.
yeah.
And then when he pulls it out, I'm like, "You're a goddamn badass." It's awesome.
Well, because he would end up, and he wouldn't have they wouldn't let him leave.
Yeah.
Because at that point he knew that to him he knew that that they weren't going to let him leave. He was going to just sit in a jail cell for the rest of his life. To matters in his own hands.
Yeah.
Which,
And he still technically got his way. Wakanda is now open.
Well, to a certain degree.
To a
certain
he
degree.
wanted oppressed. He wanted people he felt were
He wanted
oppressed.
Wakanda to take over the world, basically.
Yeah.
In a sense, he still kind of got his own way.
No.
In a way.
No, not at
In
all.
a way.
Not at
Wakanda
all.
is
In a
now
way.
open.
But that wasn't the idea.
No, Wakanda's not open. Their technology is available to help other people, but people cannot come to Wakanda yet.
They're helping.
That we can tell.
But I guess they're gonna be Infinity War. Like that place is gonna be set up in Infinity War by that time. It should be at least, which is cool, I guess.
So, let's go. So we all like the Bucky moment, right?
No,
You don't like it?
no.
Okay.
I hate that post credit scene. If they would have put it at the end of the movie, sure. But as a post credit scene, I waited for that. I expected a lot more.
Well,
And then I already knew Bucky was there. We saw that in Civil War.
but no, we didn't, because when they're walking around the lab, it's like, where's he at? And
There's a giant Black Panther.
no. But where's he at in the lab? Like, I kept it was very distracting. I'm watching the movie. I'm like, where's that thing Bucky was in? Where's that?
Oh, well.
Are they gonna walk by and there's Bucky? in
Yeah,
that
but
thing,
still,
or,
I mean-
or is it gonna be in the corner? They happen to walk by and what's going on?
They really should have just done that in the movie, though. They did not need to have that at post credit.
It's a question that I think would have kind of interrupted the flow of the movie because you can't just be like, oh, just zip past it and then go, oh well, wait, we're gonna leave the camera linger here for a little bit so there's Bucky. Oh, okay, we're gonna move on. But I think it sets up Bucky for Infinity War, so we know that
guess.
he's not gonna be basically like a mental mess in the corner. I
guess that does give that. I think maybe that should have been like the first credit scene, though.
But I wondered if they were going to put anything in or not because, well, I knew they were going to have end credits, but end credit scene. But I didn't know if they'd put anything for Infinity War or not because they didn't. They technically didn't do it for Captain America. They just had a trailer. There was no end credit scene. There was a trailer.
It was part of the film, wasn't it? For
Yeah.
Civil War, yeah, it was part of that scene with Bucky.
No. I mean the first Avenger. It was just a trailer for the Avengers movie.
Yeah.
There was no credit scene for it.
I would have liked to have seen that, to be honest, though.
And then
the trailer again.
And then you're when you were saying about it being an odd movie for before the Infinity War. Captain America just ends. Technically, the movie just ends where he busts out.
Well, that was the post credit scene.
Yeah, but he busts out, and then Nick Fury sees him, and then that's it. And then the end credit scene is just the trailer for the movie.
But it set it up more than this one did.
How?
Because Captain America woke up in the century.
Okay.
But this one just like, for me personally, I already knew Bucky was there. Maybe for other people, they didn't realize that, like.
But that's just it. I was watching the movie like, where are they going? Like, they had the one reference to Bucky.
But that's what I'm saying. They should have put it in the movie and not in the fucking post credits. They should have. I don't know. I thought I wanted something better.
But if he was in there and then Killmonger found out he was in there, he would have killed Bucky. He would have made sure they got rid of Bucky.
Yeah.
So him being far off and not, nobody gonna be able to do anything to him, then he's good to go.
All right. So what's your grade for Black Panther? Like,
I give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, so I give it, because I do mine with like letter grades. It started at B+ before this podcast. I'm putting it at like a B-, maybe C+ right now, honestly.
I give it an A-.
All right, go ahead.
I'd give it a B. Just a solid. Either I'd go B+, actually. B+.
My might go down, might go up. I need to see it again.
There's a couple things that I complained about were kind of what keep it from getting an A from me.
Any theories for Infinity War, real quick?
Pepper Potts is going to die in the Iron Man suit.
I hope she's not in the film.
She is in the film.
I know she is.
But she's going to die in the Iron Man suit.
We need a character death.
We're gonna get multiple character deaths. We're gonna get at least Iron Man. He's dying. He's dead. He's gone.
Because he's in the fourth one.
I'm counting that as Infinity War Part 2. Still technically Infinity War Part 2. They're just calling it something different.
Because of what they're doing with Captain Marvel being in the 90s, I think they're going to end up traveling back in time.
I don't even know. I don't even know at this point.
Cause,
I'm really curious.
Because they're at least going to do some time travel because there are set photos of Chris Evans in the first Captain America suit.
And Loki, them taking Loki when they took him in the Avengers, the first one, back up to Asgard. They have set photos of that too. Dude, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna get crazy. I'm really excited for it.
I keep thinking, oh, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. I don't think it's gonna be as wild as everybody thinks. It's gonna have a lot of people popping in and out of it. Well, this movie would have to be, to really do what they keep talking about, it would have to be 3 hours long.
Yeah. Well, the Avengers are going to a different planet. That's cool.
Some of them.
Iron Man's there. That's cool. Spider-Man's there. Spider-Man's in space.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool, dude.
But it's like, is this going to be almost like a chase movie where they're going from place to place? Is it going to be, take place? Is it going to be Tony, Peter, Thor, and the Guardians, and then everybody else on Earth?
I don't know. I mean, we wait to see. I hope. I don't want to watch any more trailers, but I know I'm going to.
Yeah. Absolutely, we're gonna.
So there's one thing I want to spoil for you. Not really a spoiler because it's in the trailer that was Comic-Con, but we didn't get to see it in this trailer. Thanos throws a moon.
I've heard that. Have you seen that leaked footage of?
I didn't want to watch it.
Well, there's this leaked footage. Most of it you don't see, but you hear what's going on. You get to see like the beginning part of it, and then because it shows Gamora, Drax, and Peter all going down this hallway. It's somewhere we've been before, and you hear some talking, and then they stop and they're looking around a corner. It goes to black, but you can still hear the conversation, and that's pretty much that leaked footage.
Okay.
But
because there was a leaked like 2 to 3 minute trailer that was at Comic-Con. Not leaked. I mean, it showed at Comic-Con, and people I watched.
I've seen that one. Well, there's him throwing that wasn't in the Comic-Con. It was in I think the D24.
Oh, D23. Yeah, it might have been D23.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. All right. Well, I mean, there's our Black Panther thoughts.
We all seem to like it. We all seem to be fairly on the same page, I think, with it. I mean, we're just slightly off some stuff here and there, but
I'm just annoyed that people think it's like this revolutionary film.
It for the most part, visually,
no,
it's a fantastic science fiction film.
Yeah, it's good. It's awesome. I like it. I enjoy it.
It is
It's
like
entertaining.
the whole city and all that.
It's beautiful.
There's just it's for me, it's the action CG that falls short.
Yeah.
The look, the Afrofuturistic looks awesome. Why they didn't have any Parliament Funkadelic in it, I don't know, because that's what that was all about. Yeah. So.
Because man, rap.
Parliament Funkadelic wasn't rap.
I'm just saying, like they wanted to make the soundtrack rap,
which is a good soundtrack.
It's all right. It's like one good song, 2 good songs.
Any other thoughts?
No, I liked the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right.
It's a 2-hour podcast.
Jordan, this is your thing. So.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for watching our spoiler cast of Black Panther on the Offhand Tales podcast. We'll be back next time. Mwah.
Stop talking.
God damn it, Terry.
All right, stop talking.